800-951-0592. Joe and Jason, Patriot Radio News Hour. Gold's down 40. Silver's down 55 cents right now. I've got the best special of the week by far. The problem is it's teeny tiny. So yesterday afternoon, Brittany runs our Phoenix office. She's also does all of the ordering. She does all of the shipping. She's the one that makes sure the product gets to where it needs to be, whether that's up in Johnstown, here in Phoenix, and all of that stuff. She says to me, Joe, listen, after 6 weeks, this is how busy it's been. We've been buying every $20 gold piece we could get our hands on. She says to me, we've got 35 more 20s than we have orders for. And I was like, awesome. She goes, but wait, it gets better. She goes, I bought them almost a month ago. And she goes, we've been just so busy. So here's what I'm going to do right now. And I got to reach over here. I apologize. $2,545. That's what a 20 is today. Way expensive. Not today. These 35, $2,425. That's $120 off. It would actually make them obviously cheaper than a 10. Right now, 2 10s at $1,250, right? So finally, a little normalcy here. A huge savings. Here's one catch. I only got 35 of them. That's it. And then I have I can add number 36, $2,445. So just so you know that the one is, but I'm happy to do it. You know what? I bought them $120 ago. Fine, you can pass the savings on. That's how we do it here at Patriot. I want you guys to get the best deal possible, and that is it by far today. 5-ounce silver bars. Remember yesterday we got told, hey, you can sell more of them. Well, silver's down about 60 cents. 5-ounce silver bars today back to $160. So remember, they were $155, then $160, then $165. 5-ounce silver bars, $160. In addition to those 35 20s at 24 and a quarter at 800-951-0592 and put them away. Now, speaking of silver, the 10 largest silver mines in the world. I'm going to give you the rundown. The largest now used to be Mexico, is now in Poland. They do about 42 million ounces of silver production, and that is the largest worldwide. They did not say, by the way, this is 2022 production. They did not say whether that was up or down from the previous year. The second largest mine is in Mexico, just under 30 million ounces. But here's a problem. This mine production is falling about 5% a year. And they are the second largest silver mine. The third largest, and look, just think about how quickly it falls. 42 million in Poland. Just under 30 million is the second largest mine. The third largest, and this is all by output, is in Russia, 18 million ounces. That one also in decline, about 3% year over year. The fourth largest mine in Peru, a little over just under 15 million ounces. And again, they gave no indication whether that was up or down. So I don't know. I'm assuming that they were down, because if they were up, these companies want you to know that, right? Because that's good. Oh, look at production's up. My guess is the first four mines are all in decline. But again, Only 2 of the 4 said that. The 5th largest mine, also in Mexico, at 14 million ounces. Also, doesn't say whether production was up or down. The 6th largest mine, also in Mexico. By the way, this is one of the oldest mines in the world, which is in decline, but they're at 13.6. The 7th largest mine, also in Mexico. There's a theme here. Mexico's got a lot of silver. They're at 12 million ounces, also in decline of just under 4%. Now that would make the top 7. Not all of them say they're in decline, but I'm assuming that they are, that all top 7 silver mines are probably all in decline. The 8th largest is in Australia. By the way, there's a theme in this, also in decline, but listen to this number. Down 19%. Wow. That's big. The 9th largest mine, also in Mexico. Now, here's the only one in the list where it was up. Mine production was up at a good, healthy amount to 36%, from 7.6 to 10.3. Last on the list is Green Creek, which is in Alaska, the only mine in America to make the list. They're at 9.7 million ounces. I guess some good news here. That was up 5%. So the only 2 ups that we know of were the 9th and 10th mines. And Jason, obviously, those amounts well below these bigger mines. But there's a trend here in silver where the big mines. By the way, I forgot to mention that and I want to just hold on a minute. Yeah, the mine in Australia, which is now 8th, in 2005, they were producing 44 million ounces of silver. It's down to 11 million ounces. So, Jason, this is kind of the problem, I think, where a lot of people, when they're talking silver, are saying, hey, man, silver is so underpriced. We know the inventory levels at the COMEX and in London are at historic lows. And now you take in these big silver mines. And, Jason, the top 8 silver producers all look like they're in decline.
I think silver's been underpriced for a very long time. And the only question is going to be, Joe, at some point it may not be underpriced. And how fast will that price change, right?
Patriot Radio News Hour, Joe and Jason will be back after the break. (800-951-0592), Joe and Jason. We've got 2 lines open, but both girls are on the phone, so I don't know, but we had 35 20s at $120 off. And I told you the story, 24.25. That is the best deal we have. And then those 5-ounce silver bars, just what can you do? Listen, silver's down 50 cents. Silver Eagle Premium just said, nah, we're up 50 cents. Sorry, not doing it, right? No breaks for you. And this is just how it is. But they're $5 less than yesterday. So you're saving $1 an ounce on a 50-cent drop here. 5-ounce silver bars at $160 at 800-951-0592. One of the girls just got off the phone, so call in. If they got any of the 20s left, scoop those up, throw some silver on there. Jason, really interesting when you look at the largest silver producers and the fact that across the board, production is in decline. And really, with the exception of that one mine, the other mines that are up, they're up, but it's just a little bit, right? It's not significant amounts. When you talk about, hey, if you take the top 10 silver mines and all of a sudden you add them up together and you're like, man, we're off 100 million ounces. That's a lot to make up.
Yeah, and I know that there's a lot of complications in any business, but in a mine, I mean, if you can handle at max capacity, why run any slower, right? I mean, you mine more silver, you get paid for more silver, and I'm sure there's market movement. It's like, hey, if we don't go as heavy this year, next year, say silver's going to do better, so we'll go heavier. But from what you were reading to me, Joe, the older mines are at capacity, and their ability is lowered. And the ones that went up are probably mines that had the ability to increase capacity, and they did, and that's the best they could do. So what you just read off was max capacity for mining silver, and it's going down.
Yeah, and at the same time, and we know this, right? The Biden administration, full steam ahead, passed that new emissions law on tailpipe emissions. The fact of the matter is they want this big this push into these electric vehicles, and you know what? Somebody actually is starting to wise up, because I've been saying this from day one. They know not what they do. Every major automotive CEO has come out and said, don't make us do this. Please, you don't understand. Right? There's talk about, hey, if you want to be successful, that these car companies may have to buy their own mines. They may have to buy their own lithium mines, their own silver mines, to be able to guarantee product. They're talking about the cost. One guy actually just said, listen, this whole electric car thing, he thinks, Jason, they're going to have to reverse course over the next 3 years, because the cost of these vehicles to produce them, it's so astronomical. I mean, look at like the Ford Lightning. In 18 months, they've risen the price of the vehicle by like 50%.
Right. The only way they can force this successfully onto the people of America, which is stick with this country, is you subsidize the other side, and usually the subsidies are out there in the open. Usually they'll say they're going to subsidize, clean energy, and they have with these spending packages. But sometimes when they spend 1.7 trillion, Joe, where is it really going? It makes you wonder if they're really going to do their best to force the ESG madness upon us, and we just don't see where exactly the dollars are going. I mean, let's face it: if a clean energy company is dying, well, back in 2010, we found out that the Fed was just giving out money to banks and countries to solidify that. And if the government wants green energy, there's almost nothing really to stop it. I mean, really, if they really want to, throw us into this abyss, then yeah, it's going to be a point where you're going to spend $150,000 for a car, Joe. And they'll just say that's the way it's going to be. And if they confiscating gold is ridiculous, but they did it in 1933. You couldn't own gold anymore. But to me, it's ridiculous to have to spend $150,000 on a car. But is that what we're looking at? Is that what we're going to be forced to do?
And I think that's the thing is forced. And then of course you talked subsidies, right? $7,000. That was what they did the last time, right? With that's not going to get it done, right? I mean, what are they going to subsidize a car? $70,000? I mean, right? This is the kind of math that we're talking about, and obviously we know how important silver is into this green energy movement. Well, dude, I just gave you the 10 largest mines in the world. The problem is the first one's got 40 some million, right? Then the next one's at 20 some million. And then the third biggest mine, it's only at like 18 million. But the 10th one, the one in Alaska, Jason, they don't even mine 10 million ounces.
Yeah, when I joined up with Patriot Trading Group back in 2018, I was more of a silver guy than a gold guy. I think everyone has their preference. I like both. There's no reason not to like any of them. You like them all. But as time went on, I was more of a gold guy. Gold just makes a lot more sense. But I'll say this, Joe, since the last 6 months or so, just seems like silver is just starting to be a little more exciting again. It just seems like there's a lot more pull towards silver. But get either one. Joe, I always tell the customer, a lot of customers, they're like, how much silver should I buy? And how much gold should I buy? And it's really an independent situation for every person. But I generally just say, look, after you got 500 ounces of silver, start putting it in gold. But Joe, maybe 1,000 ounces of silver, maybe a little better, get a little more.
And everybody knows that. It's full disclosure. I hate silver. I mean, I love it, but I hate it because it's so darn heavy, right? Outside of that, I love it, right? But man, it sure seems like something very big is going to happen in silver. Patriot Radio News Hour, final segment coming up. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason here wrapping up the week. And there's, you know what? Some days I feel like, God, is my mic not working? Guys, I'm telling you, right? So I just got an update. So we've got 25 of the 35 20s. Are you kidding me? This is huge. 24, 25. I know gold. Well, gold's down $40. So what? Take advantage of it. And then as far as silver goes, so there's 25 of those left. And then they go right back to $2,545. So $2,425 on the 25 remaining 20s. $160 on the 5-ounce silver bars at 800-951-0592. And then we started talking about something big. I remember, that's how long I've been doing this, when silver went on the big run, when gold topped out just under $1,900, silver got to 50 on the exchange, got to $50 on the COMEX. And Wall Street shut it off. And what I mean by that is they raised the margin requirements. And what that meant was, hey, whatever, let's just say we're charging you to control 1,000 ounces of silver. Hey, we're charging you 10% of the cost. Well, they got up the next day and said, well, not only can you not buy, but all of you that are holding these contracts, we're not going to make you pay 20%. And silver fell 3 days in a row. It went from 50 to 45 to 40 to 35. 3 straight days, lock limit down, 3 straight days. I think we're going to see the opposite of that happen sometime. I don't know when. Is it this year, next? In the next 24 months, I think we are going to see the opposite happen. Yesterday, we very briefly talked about sugar. There wasn't enough physical sugar to meet the delivery needs. And I think that's where you could see something very similar like that happen in silver. And remember, sugar went up 20% in 3 days. And I think in silver, we could see days, Jason, where the same thing happens in the silver market, because really the problem is how much delivery is needed versus the physical silver that's available to be delivered.
And some of the numbers you were mentioning, I mean, they charge a penalty for you to try to stop the enthusiasm, so to speak. If silver's rightful place was 16 to 1 or something, let's just say it's 10 to 1, that means $200 silver. So if you try to put a 20% penalty on buyers of silver, but they do, if enough of these big buyers figure out, well, wait a minute, even 20%, we're still going to be way up because it's going to be $200. If enough people figure that out, Joe, they won't be able to keep it. They won't be able to knock it from 50 to 35 again.
Well, and the thing is, right, when you can't make delivery, it doesn't matter at that point, does it? And I think that's what you got to prepare for. So hopefully you put some gold away today, put some silver away, 800-951-0592. Jason and I, we're going to wrap up the week with the half-empty cup coming up next.